Hey everyone, good evening and welcome to the fourth installment of the Core Java series. And this is also part 2 of the setting up and writing our first program. So continuing on from where we left off in the previous video, today we will be discussing the basics of how Java works and also revisiting our setup. So looking at our previous program, we're going to go ahead and cover these concepts and try and put together the pieces that make up Java. So how does this all exactly work? Before we get into that question, we'll go back and have a look at the program we created last time. So let's go ahead and open up CMD. Let's go to desktop. And we can see our previous programs are there. First Java program.java is there. So we'll go ahead and remove first Java program.class now so that we can better explain the workflow of how Java really works. So there you go. And if I do dir again, so it's gone. Now, what happens is when we say Java C and first Java program.java, what that really does is it tells the Java compiler that, hey, this is a program. Let's go ahead and create its bytecode. So how do we convert it into something that is readable in any computer? It doesn't matter whether it's a Windows, it doesn't matter whether it is a Mac or a Unix, it should work anywhere. So the way Java came up with this is they said, okay, let's create .class files that are based off your source code. So when we do that, what we now have is our class file. So that's how Java, tackled that problem with their Java virtual machine. Because what's really happening is this is a file intended for working with the Java virtual machine, a machine that is on top of our machine that works as an interface to our whatever operating system is at the back. It doesn't care what the operating system is at the back. It'll do the conversions for that operating system to be able to handle all its requests. So let's run our program again. So when we say Java and first Java program, this runs our class file. Our class file is our bytecode there. So that's what's running. It's running on top of the Java JVM, and that is the quick crash course. So now what we'll do is I'll do start dot again. If you guys remember from the previous video, start dot means let's open up this folder. So there we go, there we have it. So let's have a look at what this class file looks like. There you go, it's gibberish, entirely gibberish with a few things here and there, but the rest does not make too much sense, and it doesn't need to for you, I guess. Discussing this in its entirety would, probably be out of the scope of this course. So we don't need to know that anyway. So what we'll do now is we'll go back and work at our setup. So right now the problem is our setup is very nice, but it's not as efficient. So what we're meant to do really, what we're really meant to do is work with a better system. How can we be more efficient? And that's where IDEs come in. So the next thing is IDEs. Now what are IDEs? Some of them, so by example, some of them, like there's the Eclipse IDE, IntelliJ IDEA, and NetBeans. NetBeans comes with Oracle, you can get it from the Oracle website. But my choice in terms of IDEs is Eclipse. I have worked with IDEA before, but I prefer Eclipse just out of habit. They're both really good, so you can pick and choose. And the reason we're using these IDEs, by the way, sorry, IDE means Integrated Development Environment. It helps you to be able to write your code in the same place and run it at the same time. So you don't have to revert back to your command prompt and all those other sorts of dramas. So we'll go ahead and grab that now. So I've got that open and it's right here, there. So I will put the links in the description below. We'll go ahead and grab that. So there you go. That's Eclipse downloading. So I will cancel that because I already have it, and I will show you what it looks like. Normally this is the installer for Eclipse. So once you do that, you'll have to install Eclipse, and what you should see is this thing here, Eclipse JEE Neon. So if you do that and you see that, you guys can go ahead and click on it and work with it. So we're going to go do that now. And that opens your selected directory as a workspace window. What you can do is, this is my previous one. We'll create a new one for this. Yours by default should be workspace. You can go in that and that's good enough. I'm gonna call it workspace tutorials and just say okay. And if you want, you can check that as the default so it won't ask you the next time. I normally don't do that because I have quite a few workspaces. So there we have it. We're going to go straight down to the workbench. And there we go. This is Eclipse, and this is where we will be doing most of our Java development from now on. So the way this will work is we'll say new, and we'll create a new Java project just for a start. Say others, don't worry about that. You might not have that, don't worry about it. Java project, there you go. So by default, we will always be creating a project, and we will put all of our code usually inside that. So I'm just gonna say, let's just call it basics. I will say finish. And if it asks for your perspective, just remember my decision and say yes. There we go. Now I'll just close that. We don't need that. So this is where your projects will be. And you can see what it creates by default is this little folder called source. This is where, so as I've been calling our Java files source, all of our Java files will go in this source folder, or what we can call it as the source package. Let's go. There you go. Let's go ahead and create a first class. So class is the thing that holds most of our code. Most of our code will be in class. And as we go through these tutorials, you'll understand what the rest of these things do as well. Okay, so for now, we were only bothering about classes. The IDE helps us a lot in terms of creating the class. What do we want to call it? So earlier I called it first Java program. Let's go ahead and call that again. Let's recreate that program. So you see here I kept the first as capital because that's how it should be. And notice that this is discouraged. The type is discouraged. By convention, Java type names usually start with an uppercase letter. So there you go. That's why capital F is the way to go. Now, we will be working with public static void main. So we'll click that. You don't have to click that. You can write that yourself. But for this, we'll just click it just to see how this works and finish. And there we go. So we have a nice little folder created, which is basics, and in that we've generated this class. So this is a package, by the way, this folder. Don't worry, we'll get into that later. For now, just assume that that's how the folder hierarchy works. That there's the source, there's another package in there. It doesn't have to be, there is though. And that's Java, our program. So let's go ahead and create that again. Let's say system. Now, the wonderful thing about Eclipse is dot. And you see the minute we do that, it comes up with a few things we can choose. So we say out, again dot, after every dot, and we say print ln. Print ln means print line, and then we go ahead and print the line with hello world. Save that. Now for you guys, the play might be in different places. I have a play in here and I have a play in there. It might be different with you because it may be a different version of Eclipse. Don't worry about it. Just find the play button and hit play. And there you go, it says hello world right there, nice and easy. And this looks much prettier than using the command line. So even though I've showed you how to work with the command line, we don't have to do that. We'll let that be. For now, this is how we'll go. So now you might think, what about the class file? Where is that? Suddenly we don't have our class file anymore. We don't have to do Java, C, or Java for that matter. That's automatically handled the minute we say run first Java program. That creates your class file in a what is it called? Maybe a build package. I'm not sure. So we can check that out. So the way we can check that out is this package, this project itself is a folder in our workspace. So let's go ahead and show in System Explorer. So there you have it. Now these are a few things created by Eclipse when we generated our workspace, but this is the one that we care about because that's the project we created. We click that, you can see that there's a source. Don't worry about class path and project, or settings for that matter. Those are internal for Eclipse. What we have to see is source, and see this basics folder is the basics package, and then first Java program.java is in there. Now you might wonder where the class file is. The class file is actually in bin, the binaries. So again, the same structure, and there you go. And that is what's run. And once it's run, the output of whatever is happening is flushed through to this console here. Good thing again is if I say that, save it, run it, there you go. So there you go, guys. With that comes the conclusion to our setting up part of the Java Core series. This is Ashwin, and I hope to see you guys next time.